for a more glorious weather Sunday. Temperatures in the mid-60s, not a cloud in the sky. We're about set for kickoff. Let's check in downstairs with Laura.
Tom, with 21 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, we've watched Josh Freeman's stats go up while his weight has gone down. He dropped 25 pounds this offseason, but he told me he has worked just as hard on making changes to the inside. Josh telling me between the pressure he felt with the losing and getting caught up in the life of a young superstar, he lost sight of who he was, saying, I was overwhelmed and wanted to get back to myself, who I lost at 21. I have finally found balance. I do not want my identity to just be the kind of quarterback I am. Tom, with the exception, of course, being the next 3 hours.
Well, you're right about that. First-year head coach, 46 years young, left Rutgers to make the leap into the NFL as Greg Schiano. What a marvelous job he has done with what was a highly dysfunctional Tampa Bay team a year ago. And for Mike Smith, you can't do it any better. 5 consecutive winning seasons, first time the Falcons have ever done that in their franchise history.
And I don't think that their fans should lose sight of where they are as a franchise, remembering where they were.
Tampa Bay won the toss, deferred to getting the football in the second half. So right from the get-go, as that one is booted into the end zone, we get a look at the Atlanta Falcons offensively. Among the best teams offensively in all the entire NFL. So many weapons, but they're still trying to get that running game with Michael Turner cranked up to a year ago.
Even though they are a pass-first offense, Michael Turner gives them an identity running it. Tony Gonzalez, forget retirement. He's playing at a Pro Bowl at all-pro level again. Roddy White and Julio Jones, so dangerous outside.
Of course, Jones playing on a tender ankle. We'll keep an eye on him throughout the afternoon. We'll give it to Turner. And his #1 rush defense drops him after a gain of 2. You brought up earlier, Charles Davis, this is an extremely young Tampa Bay defense. Rookies David and Barron playing prominent roles in it.
And David is their leading tackler. Barron gets the big challenge today going up against Tony Gonzalez, a future Hall of Fame tight end. Leonard Johnson at the corner playing for Eric Wright. Plays all out with tenacity.
Back-to-back running calls. And Turner crosses the 25 to the 26. It'll bring up the 3rd down and 4. You saw the note there a moment ago. #1 against the run is his Tampa Bay defense. Dead last in the NFL against the pass, which the obvious logic would say throw it all over the field.
It does say that, but Atlanta also is working on getting their identity back that they feel like they've lost in recent weeks. They want to be able to run the football when they so choose, not have it dictated by defenses.
First throw and a completed pass to Julio Jones, run out of bounds at the 38-yard line, and that's an Atlanta first down.
Look at how far off the cushion is on Julio Jones. He just bails out in the technique. Laquan Lewis, who's more of a kick returner, is going to get extra time in their nickel package today due to the injury to Eric Wright. When he bailed out of there and gave all that cushion to Julio Jones, that was easy pitch and catch for Matt Ryan.
Jones in his second year, #1 pick a season ago out of Alabama. Missed 2 games, parts of 3 others with hamstring problems last year. And then rolled over an ankle 2 weeks ago, re-aggravating that injury last week. And this is Rodgers still on his feet. Crossing midfield all the way down to the Buccaneers' 41-yard line. Stopped by Barber. A 20-yard gain by Jaquiz Rodgers.
And how about the block by Tyson Clabo, #77, getting out and opening up the lane for Jaquiz Rodgers. Look at the big fella get out there, cuts down the corner, and now you've got the gap, and Rodgers reads it well, puts a foot in the ground, and gets into the hole for nice yardage.
First down for Atlanta at the Tampa Bay 41-yard line, back into the hands of Rodgers. He just sticks his nose forward into Rondé Barber's belly, and that's a gain of 2, maybe 3. Rondé Barber playing in his 235th consecutive game, 8 shy of the all-time record by a defensive player since a merger back in 1970. 210 consecutive straight starts. And look at the rest of the numbers. 5 Pro Bowls, a Super Bowl champion with Tampa Bay in 2002. Undoubtedly will be enshrined in Canton, Ohio when his playing career is over. Rodgers, nifty moves, slipping a couple of tackles inside the 30, and that's another Falcons first down.
Got a nice escort from Jason Snelling, number 44, an all-purpose back for them. Watch him, Snelling playing fullback here. He can play fullback, he can play running back. Good block on the inside, and then look at Jacquizz Rodgers with the vision, and it activates his feet with the cut and upfield. He may be small and shifty, but he also packs a wallop as he finishes runs.
Rodgers out, Turner back in, and they give it to him, and there's a penalty flag down. It was Johnson who came up to wrap him up and drag him down. Jeff Triplett, our referee here today. Telling Roddy White to beat it.
We don't need any extra help on this. That's what they pay us for.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 84 is moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Infrequently will the Falcons commit penalties. 37 of them, now 38 the entire year for less than 300 penalty yards, both fewest in the NFL.
The discipline starts with Mike Smith and permeates its way through the team. They do not beat themselves. You have to go get the Atlanta Falcons if you want a victory.
And they'll back them up 5, first and 15. From the 34-yard line. Turner in the backfield, and Ryan going to throw it on first down, looking around. And finds Turner, who's tackled at the 27-yard line.
Take a good look at why Matt Ryan had to come and check the ball down. Look at the coverage in the secondary. Look up to the top. See right there. Covered there. Covered there. No place to go with it here. So that means he had to come back, check down, and find Turner short. Good patience by Matt Ryan. Good protection by the offensive line. Excellent coverage in the secondary by Tampa.
Eighth play of this drive for the Falcons. Already chewing up nearly 5 minutes of this opening quarter. 2nd and 7. They'll hand it off out of the shotgun. And Turner barrels his way to another Falcons first down to the 19.
Tom, I get a sense early in this game that Mike Smith, the head coach of the Falcons, spent a lot of time with his team saying, can we get back to being the Falcons again? I know we throw the ball a lot, and we should with the weapons we have. But that toughness element that Mike Smith wants, I think he wanted to really get back to it this week. I think that's why the game is being called as it is by Dirk Cutter in the early going.
Rodgers and Snelling checked into the backfield, and they put it into the hands of Rodgers and wrapped up maybe a yard past the line of scrimmage. Turner a week ago against Arizona had 15 carries for only 46 yards. He's already gone 3 rushes for 15 yards here today, so a much better start. And of course the running of Rodgers, who already has 4 carries for 32 yards.
Not nearly this number of carries that Michael Turner normally has at this time of year. They're hoping that'll pay benefits down the stretch with fresher legs for their number 1 back.
Five receivers set. 2nd and 10. First catch for the future Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez. He is their leading receiver, his 65th reception of the year, and it's now 190 consecutive games with a reception for Gonzalez.
And Bill Sheridan, the defensive coordinator for Tampa Bay, not much pressure so far. Just rushing his front 4, dropping everyone else in the coverage. Gonzalez found a little sliver of opening and turned it into a nice gain.
So now 3rd down and 3. Falcons have been very good on their opening possession, trying to improve on even further, but this did not fool the Buccaneers. Mason Foster, who started as a rookie at middle linebacker a season ago, read that one beautifully, and out comes the kick team.
Sure did, Tom, because what they tried to do was fool him with motion to the outside. Tried to go over here. They wanted the attention there, hoping they would bypass him on the way out there. But Mason Foster sensed it, stayed right with the receiver Rodgers, and made the play.
31-yard field goal try now for Matt Bryant, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Good snap, good hold, and a good kick. So they chew up nearly half the opening quarter, coming away with 3. Well, Charles, we're not too far from your neck of the woods. That's Clearwater Beach. But beautiful down here. You move down along the coast, get down into Sarasota, and right on down to Naples and hitting the Florida Keys.
You know where we're hitting to, don't you, Tom? Snowbird time. Everybody coming back to this part of the country to try and wait out the winter.
When you have days like today, why wouldn't you? Laquan Lewis from 3 yards out of his own end zone. And he's out across the 15, right at the 19-yard line. So now we get a look at Josh Freeman. What a start he's off to. And this is his 3rd season as a Buccaneers quarterback. From the Pier Aquarium just across the bay in St. Petersburg, we welcome you back to Tampa. A 3-0 Falcons lead here in the opening quarter, and now the first possession of the game for the high-flying Buccaneers offense, led by their 24-year-old quarterback, his 3rd year as a starter, his 4th year overall in the league. And what a bounce-back season it has been for Josh Freeman. First down throw, Williams bounces off a tackle and then wrapped up by Akeem Dent after a gain of close to 7.
Nice simple route, has to be thrown well. Asante Samuel's a guy who will jump routes. He puts it right on him quickly. Good catch by Williams, protects himself and gets down as he absorbs the first hit from Akeem Dent.
Williams and other guys had a bounce back here, much like Freeman. Both were so good in 2010 when the Buccaneers won 10 times and 4 wins all of last year. Look at Freeman. Last 6 weeks, second only to Aaron Rodgers in touchdown passes among all NFL quarterbacks. Great protection. And the catch is made out of the backfield by the electrifying rookie Doug Martin. Let's check in quickly with Kurt Menefee for a game break.
All right, Browns and Steelers, and it turned pretty quickly for the Browns. Brandon Whedon's pass tipped right into the hands of Lawrence Timmons. Takes it 53 yards for the score. That defense trying to help out with Charlie Batch, now their 3rd starting quarterback in 3 games. Pittsburgh with a lead on the road, 7-0. Tom and Charles.
It has been ownership for the Steelers over their rivals, the Browns. Winners of 21 of the last 23. First down at 10 at play clock, getting down to 2-1. They just do get it off. First carry of the afternoon for Martin. The second of 2 first-round picks. Drafted out of Boise State. Has already rushed for 1,000 yards this season. And you talk about some weapons now. They have plenty of those on offense.
Donald Penn's been playing at a Pro Bowl level the last few seasons. Doug Martin having a rookie season for the ages at running back. Dallas Clark, talk about rejuvenation at the tight end position. And Vincent Jackson will break off about 20 yards with every catch.
After 7 years in San Diego, Jackson a first-year Buccaneer. Likewise for Dallas Clark after all those great years with Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. Second down and 2 and looking across the middle. And it's Clark who had the game-ending touchdown to beat Carolina last Sunday in overtime. And that's a gain of 21.
Now how about this? 4 plays, 4 checks it appears to be for Josh Freeman as he gets them into a better play than what was called. William Moore was showing a little coverage early, then backed off. And now look right here. That's where Dallas Clark is going to come open in the middle. Freeman with excellent protection finds him wide open in the seam.
First down at the Atlanta 39-yard line. Freeman 3 of 3 for 34 to begin the game, and Martin for maybe a yard. by Thomas Deku. Atlanta defensively. John Abraham, a couple of sacks last week in that win against Arizona, also forcing a fumble, and they welcome back Sean Weatherspoon after missing the last 3 with an ankle injury.
And Abraham over a sack a game in his last 13 games. Getting Weatherspoon back is huge. They need the speed to combat what Tampa presents on offense. Asante Samuel, they were worried about him. He's going today at the corner, and William Moore is a thumper in the secondary.
Well, Samuel injuring his shoulder last week in that thrilling come-from-behind victory against the Cardinals. Freeman rolling, looking down the field, and the catch is made, and then stepping out of bounds is Tyquan Underwood. And that is a first down to the Atlanta 12. A 22-yard reception.
And how about what they get here? You're really getting 3 people into different levels. Look here, as you freeze it right here, you've got a level there, you've got a level there, and that's where he goes with the football. And you even have one deeper, triple sideline type route, finds Underwood in the middle section for a nice gain.
Well, they spotted, I beg your pardon, at the 17 is where they say he stepped out of bounds. First down, and they pitch it to Martin. Breaks it to the outside, a stiff arm on Robinson. Boy, this Martin is something else. He is closing in on virtually every Tampa Bay rookie record. 179 yards short of breaking Carnell Williams' rookie record for rushing yards in a season. And yards from scrimmage now down to 100 yards from Warwick Dunn's franchise rookie record of 1,440 back in 1997.
We're talking some significant names in Tampa Bay history. And think about the names he's chasing in NFL history. Eric Dickerson is out there for him for the type of rookie season Doug Martin is having.
That's good. That is the first down to the 6. Some of the names you were talking about, Charles Davis.
And Eric Dickerson, Adrian Peterson, George Rogers, the #1 pick who lived up to it with the New Orleans Saints. The edge man, Edgerrin James, Doug Martin in that pantheon now, and Otis O.J. Anderson. People might have forgotten he started with the Cardinals before winning a Super Bowl with the Giants.
That was in 1979, his rookie year. 9th play of this drive, and it's first and goal for the Bucs.
See how Doug Martin finishes runs too? The physicality at the end of a run.
He's got it again. Spins out of the tackle, and look at the finish you just mentioned. Slips inside the one.
It's not just strength, it's agility also. You see how he absorbed the contact initially and maybe even initiated a little contact, and as you mentioned, Tom, slipped, made the spin move, and gained the extra yardage to put the ball in the shadow of the goal line.
Here's a big reason the Bucs have gotten things turned around. All of last year, 16 games, they scored 34 points in the first quarter. Second to last in the league. This year, 71, and knocking on the door of adding to that right now.
And we just saw Greg Schiano. You know what he wants to see? Then run the football physically into the end zone. That's his image.
Well, they pitch it to Martin. Puts it back, and he will fire in the end zone. Wow, what an impressive drive for Freeman Martin and the Buccaneers. That 8th rushing touchdown is the most ever by a Buccaneers rookie.
And look what they went, and they went jumbo. They went extra offensive lineman. Look at Eric Lorig, 41, right here working on Stephen Nicholas. He controls the point of attack. That allows Martin to extend the play and then cut inside for the touchdown.
Connor Barth for the point after. And it is good. Falcons 3 on their opening drive. The Bucs 7. 10 plays to jump in front. Can't do it much better than that. 10 plays, 81 yards, capped off by the Martin 1-yard touchdown run. And Freeman perfect on that drive. Almost as much time off the clock as Atlanta had on its opening drive.
Both of them trying to play a little bit of bully football early. Both of them effective. Tampa a little bit more, getting 7 instead of 3. Tom, they never even got the 3rd down on the drive. I mean, not a single third down on that in that entire drive.
Rodgers out of his own end zone. And he's out to the 25. Might be one of those kind of days. Matt Ryan and the Falcons will get right back out there and try and answer Freeman and the Bucs. .105 to play in this opening quarter, and Atlanta with a football for the second time. Ran it for nearly 50 yards on that opening drive.
That sounded familiar, didn't it?
And they'll come out throwing it around, first down this time, and that's Roddy White, his first catch, and 63rd on the year. And as always, we'd love to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching our broadcast today in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea on AFM, the American Forces Network. We cannot thank you for all you do. God bless you all, standing tall and proud for the greatest country in the world. Second and 3, Turner, nowhere to go. So a third down coming up.
Defensive front of Tampa Bay won that battle convincingly. Reestablished the line of scrimmage from where things started, and that allowed the linebackers to get involved. Look at the defensive front. They just hold firm. And now, coming up, Adam Hayward, 57, sets the edge. Nowhere to go for Michael Turner running the football.
Hayward filling in for the injured Quincy Black. But now he'll go to the sideline as timeout is called. 7-3 Buccaneers set to begin the second quarter. And a third down. And 3 for Atlanta from its own 32-yard line. All day to throw. And Gonzalez just sits down at the 45, crosses midfield, a first down to the Tampa Bay 47-yard line.
And look at how Tampa Bay brings everyone up. Look at Rondé Barber right there on the line of scrimmage. Has everything stacked, but then the protection is so good that allows Matt Ryan to go through progressions, look one way, come back, and people ended up bypassing Tony Gonzalez. You wonder how a guy like that gets so open. It's all the time that Matt Ryan had to look for people downfield.
On first down, Ryan to throw, and across the middle finds Julio Jones, and that is another first down to the Tampa Bay 33.
If people have questions about Matt Ryan's psyche after throwing 5 interceptions last week, I think he's taking care of those early. Watch Julio Jones, number 11, run the slant route inside on number 29, Leonard Johnson, and look at how this ball's delivered. Sharply and with authority. Matt Ryan has studied the 5 interceptions, and he's let them go. He's moved on.
Give it to Turner, and again bottled up behind the line of scrimmage. And we will check in with our main man, Kurt Menefee, standing by in Los Angeles. Kurt?
All right, Tom Brenneman, after Adrian Peterson fumbled to give the Bears a short field, they cashed it in. Michael Bush, 1-yard scoring run, and the Bears have the lead in the first quarter, 7-3, in that big NFC North matchup. Tom and Charles.
That is a big one, and if the Vikings want to end that 5-game losing streak against Chicago, it's a tall order. One thing to go there now, but also there without Percy Harvin.
Very difficult, and you don't want to turn the ball over against Chicago. They feast on turnovers and turn them into offensive points.
Second and 13. Long throw to the far side of the field, and it's Harry Douglas on the reception. It'll bring up another third down.
I wonder if, as we continue to move along, Tom, if Bill Sheridan, the D coordinator of Tampa, might start thinking about a little more pressure. Right now, Matt Ryan's almost throwing out of the rocking chair. When he's back there having time to survey the field, go through progressions, reset his feet, and then step into throws.
Third down and 7. Ryan perfect so far, 8 out of 8. safety net, and there are plenty of them in this Atlanta offense. You have 3 receivers closing in on 20 receptions on 3rd down, Gonzalez being one of them.
And here's Gonzalez here, Rondé Barber over him. They showed extra people at the line of scrimmage, only brought 1 extra guy. The protection was good, which kept Matt Ryan's feet clean in the pocket, meaning he can step into the throw and really throw a sharp pass. No one in his face, didn't have to throw off the back foot.
A gain of 16 on the catch by Gonzalez, and it's first down Atlanta at the Tampa Bay 14. And that running game on this drive is just not there. Big Gerald McCoy now in his 3rd season, #1 pick out of Oklahoma, has really come on strong in this his 3rd year.
And he didn't necessarily make the tackle, but he made the play. Look at the penetration upfield. And he kicks the ball. See, right there, he's got the play where it's got to come back to the inside, and that allows the pursuit from inside out to ultimately make the play. Gerald McCoy forcing him inside, not letting him to the perimeter.
Tony Gonzalez. Now Ryan rolls out of trouble. Pump fake, he'll keep it himself inside the 10. There's a penalty flag at the 10-yard line. Ryan about a yard short of a first down.
And that came from the back judge in the middle of the field, looking back inside, where there's usually a little bit of contact, receivers trying to run routes.
There is no foul for illegal contact as the quarterback was out of the pocket.
Because it would have been, it was Rondé Barber with contact. Watch to the left of your screen. Rudgick inside and right there. You see the hit? That was Rondé Barber hitting Roddy White. But because Matt Ryan had gotten out of the pocket, all bets are off on the contact downfield. Officials picked that up, detected it correctly.
13-yard run by Matt Ryan. 3rd down in a yard, less than a yard. Pitch it to Rodgers. First down, touchdown. Scoring drives for each team. 2 possessions for Atlanta, a field goal, now a touchdown, 1 possession for the Bucs. And that was a touchdown.
And you know teams will take points any way they can get them. You know that. But for the Falcons to run the ball in on a short yardage play, that's huge. Look at Tyson Claypool, 77, right here, when he come down and cut down Mark Barron, the safety. Gets just enough of him that allows Jacquizz Rodgers to get to the corner for the touchdown.
Rodgers, his first rushing touchdown of this season. And the point after is good. Nearly 5 minutes into the 2nd quarter. A good one in the NFC South. Mike Smith challenged his team after their first and only loss of the year against New Orleans when they couldn't convert short yardage down near the goal line. Before the game last week, said, fellas, we need to get back to being the Atlanta Falcons and being able to punish people, and a good start in that vein today.
Just a little bit different than norm, pitching it to Jacquizz Rodgers. What we're used to seeing is Michael Turner inside the tackles. They'll take it in any event. Good running play for a touchdown.
Laquan Lewis tripped up at the 21. 10-7. Buccaneers get the ball when we come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Citizen Eco Drive, fueled by light, a watch that never needs a battery, by the Samsung Galaxy S3. The next big thing is here, and by JP Morgan Chase & Company. Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at JP Morgan Chase & Company.
Well, I mentioned Charles Davis flying all the way overnight after doing the Stanford UCLA game yesterday here on Fox with Gus Johnson, and pinch hitting for the ailing Brian Billick, who joins us on the telephone from just outside of Baltimore, Maryland. Coach, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I appreciate Charles taking that red eye for me. I'm on the mend, but I appreciate you guys taking care of me.
Well, Brian came down with a very, very bad back, so much so that was unable to make the trip down here to Tampa. And Brian, I know you were very excited about this game. And so far, as we have a late penalty flag comes in, this one has been as advertised.
Yeah, I think the thing that's interesting to me, you knew it was going to be a little tough sledding for Atlanta to run the ball inside against this #1 rated run defense of the Buccaneers. I think that's why we're seeing a little bit more of Jaquez Rodgers outside the edge. I think that's where Atlanta believes they're going to have to run in order to keep the balance that Mike Smith wants.
And, Coach, I think that Mike Smith, we wait for the call here. I'll get back to you in a second.
Here's Jeff Triplett.
We have offsetting fouls. Illegal block in the back. Number 85 of the offense. Late hit, recover personal foul. Number 25 of the defense. Those penalties offset by rule. Replay first down.
And Coach, your point is well taken about where they're going to run the football today for Atlanta. But I got the sense that Mike Smith doesn't care where they run it. It's just that he wants to run the football again.
Yeah, they definitely want to have that balance. But so far, this thing's a track meet. I'll be interested to see if it does indeed stay at this pace, how comfortable Greg Schiano is making his quarterback maybe put this thing up 40-plus times. I think Matt Ryan may be a little more comfortable with doing that than Josh Freeman.
We're going to be checking in with Coach Brian Billick from time to time throughout the game. Unable to be here today, but Brian, we got a timeout on the field. We want you to get well, and we'll look forward to having you back next week and later in the game today. 10-7, Buccaneers with the football in the second quarter. Of course, Christmas right around the corner, Mr. Davis.
How many shopping days left? Not enough.
Not enough. For you, for me, young kids at home, never enough.
Never enough. For our wallets, too many.
Way too many. Very good numbers offensively for both teams. And now the Buccaneers beginning their second drive of the afternoon. It was a touchdown scoring drive in the opening quarter. Freeman, the blitz got him. That was Dante Robinson off the edge who got there first.
How about Mike Nolan guessing along with the offensive coordinator Mike Sullivan? Because look from the right side of your screen. Here comes Dante Robinson from the corner position, working at the slot. Goes directly for Josh Freeman. Had a feel, had a read, and thought the first down pass was being dialed up. The blitz came and got him.
First sack of the year for Dante Robinson. It is a loss of 7. Freeman to throw it on second down, lays it off. Martin has to beat one defender. He does. He's across the 35 to the 40, 45 and the 50. There is a penalty flag in the backfield. This one might come back. We'll see. But boy, is this Doug Martin something else.
We ended up with 2 flags back there.
2 fouls on the play. Holding number 69 of the offense. That penalty is declined. Illegal use of hands in the face. Number 79 of the offense. That penalty is accepted after this is the goal.
And that's the right side of the line. 69, DeMar Dotson. 79, Jamon Meredith. So here's the hold here, and there's the hands in the face right there. Both of them detected and caught, and wipes away a sterling play by Doug Martin, which would have picked up a first down and plenty more. 42 yards worth of 42 yards downfield. Yep. Call the way back.
And then you penalize 10, so that is a 52-yard differential. LeGarrette Blount into the backfield for the first time on 2nd and 23 on their own 7. They fake it to Blount, rolling, lay it off to the backup tight end Luke Stocker in his second year out of Tennessee, and he's up to the 12. All right, Charles, you're going to be a busy man. College football's biggest championship game. Right here on Fox, you'll be at both of them. Pac-12 title game. You just saw this matchup yesterday. Was Stanford, are they impressive? And then the Big Ten title game. 14th ranked Nebraska takes on Wisconsin. Pac-12 Big Ten championships Friday, Saturday nights only on Fox. You'll be there with Gus.
Yes, and we both rematch games. UCLA Stanford, as you mentioned, just played last night, and during the season, Nebraska and Wisconsin played. So both of them rematches. Both should be good games.
Freeman dropped at the 11-yard line by Floyd Bierman. His third sack of the year, and a couple of big penalties costing the Buccaneers dearly on this drive.
A sack on first down hurts them, puts them behind the chains on first down. Now watch Bierman working on Meredith 69. The coverage was so good it allowed Bierman to make a couple of moves and finally get to the quarterback.
Well, that'll be Kanan punting out of his own end zone. Dominique Franks had a season-best 28-yard return last week. Fields from the 31-yard line and dropped 9 yards later.
Sponsored by the all-new 2013 Ford Escape. It's what happens when you go further.
Good start for both of these quarterbacks. Matt Ryan in his 5th year as a starter. Josh Freeman in his 4th year overall took over about 3/4 of the way through that rookie year. Now in his 3rd full season at the helm for the Buccaneers. His 9-for-9 stretch by Ryan ties a career best to start a game. They'll hand it off to Rogers, who's had good success running the ball to begin it. Back to the line of scrimmage here. Now let's check in once more with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Update on the Steelers and Browns, and in the second year out of USC, Cameron Jordan scored his first NFL touchdown, a 5-yard reception from Brandon Weeden. Both Browns scores off Steeler turnovers, and they have a lead right now, 10-7. Tom and Charles.
Charlie Batch, the starting quarterback in that one for the Steelers.
He's not that much older than Brandon Weeden. Brandon's going to kill me later when he finds out I said that.
You're right about that.
He won't be happy, but he's not as big a gap as you would expect with a rookie.
And for those who don't know that story, the reason being,
Brandon Weeden went and played baseball out of high school in the Yankees organization to start off, was a pitcher before coming back to Oklahoma State and playing big-time football there and later becoming a first-round draft pick. Turned 29 during his rookie year with the Cleveland Browns and is doing a nice job at quarterback for them.
well, 3rd down and 4. They converted all 3 third downs on that touchdown scoring drive a moment ago. Only a 3-man rush. And it's intercepted by Rondé Barber. Still on his feet. Penalty flag down behind the line of scrimmage. Rondé Barber, his 4th interception. Will it stand?
Holding.
Yes, it will.
Number 72 in the offense prior to the pass. The penalty is declined. First down.
That has been a huge part of his Tampa Bay turnaround this season. Their 16th interception on the year.
And how about the eyes of Rondé Barber? Watch what he does. Reads the coverage, and it reads Matt Ryan and falls off of his coverage back inside to where the football is. His coverage was secure. So then he fell off of that coverage and just flowed to the football and picks off another one and helps his team with great field position.
28-yard return. Barber just adding to those totals, the only player in league history. 40 or more sacks, 25 or more interceptions in that one. Wide open is Jackson. And he is tackled at the 3 after the pass by Mike Williams.
Well conceived and set up because of the motion, and they gave him protection outside with 2 blockers in front of Mike Williams. Doug Martin comes out of the backfield to help become an extra screen guy for Mike Williams in order for him to throw the football downfield. See the screen out there? 2 guys. Takes Deku out of the play and allows him to find Vincent Jackson downfield.
Hey, you're starting to say Doug Williams. He threw it like Doug Williams.
I came so close with that Buccaneer team to seeing Doug flinging one downfield.
Here's Martin. And not much room there. 2nd down and goal.
But look at how they got it set up, Tom. This was really well done. As you go back, because you're going to take Martin out of the backfield and come out here. Now you're going to have two guys blocking for Williams, who comes back behind the last pitch. And see the release? That gets him downfield because of all the action. Everyone else comes forward, and he finds Vincent Jackson downfield for the big gain on first down.
2nd and goal from inside the 2. Extra offensive lineman, play fake. Freeman looking around and throws it away.
What I've been thinking throughout this first half watching Josh Freeman is that he has earned the trust of his coaching staff in a short amount of time. The number of checks we've seen and his ability to take care of the football, because inside the red zone they've been so effective during the year. 15 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Last season he had 4 interceptions in the red zone. So you can see why Greg Schiano and Mike Sullivan trust him more. And how about that maturity on that play? Nothing there. Throw it out of bounds, throw it away, come back and fight another down.
They pitch it to Martin. What a tackle made by the veteran Mike Peterson in his 14th season, a former Florida Gator.
And he makes a terrific play. But Stephen Nicholas, 54, watch this. And then you got Peterson flowing, but watch what Nicholas does. He takes out Eric Lorig right there. So now Peterson, who plays off the block behind him, he's a free runner and becomes a free hitter on Doug Martin and takes him down. Good play by Peterson, skating past the block.
Well, we have an injured Buccaneer. We'll tell you about him when we come back. Ted Larson, the center, the injured Buccaneer. They've had so many injuries along that offensive line, especially at the guard positions. Pro Bowlers have gone down. Gavin Joseph early, Carl Nix recently, and a lot of movement around.
Still able to press the running game, still have run it well over the last 6 games despite a makeshift offensive line.
Connor Barr, 22 yards out, is good to tie the game. So the Barber interception turns into a field goal. 10-10, 3:37 to play until halftime. Tonight on Fox, plenty to be thankful for. Animation domination. Get ready to stuff yourself with all new outrageous episodes. Make it your funniest Thanksgiving weekend ever. Tonight starting at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Fox. Charles Davis, you don't catch a break. I mean, you fly all night. You get off a plane, you come here, do the game, and you're on your way to get ready for the Big Ten championship game to see our old buddy Barry Alvarez and the Wisconsin Badgers tomorrow up in Madison.
Going to see the Godfather. Check in with him. Of course, Brett Bielema, their head coach. And then from there, we'll go to Lincoln, Nebraska, and check in with Bo Pelini and his crew as they get ready to do battle in Indianapolis on Saturday.
Rodgers takes a knee.
How lucky am I?
Oh,
I mean, let's just be honest about it, right?
No doubt about it.
Like, oh, you took a red eye. You did really? Really? The average working person's like, really? That's a problem?
I tell you, you're logging some serious miles, young man. God bless you.
Working people are saying, sign me up.
No doubt about that one. No doubt about it. All right, 3:37 to go. Falcons have all 3 timeouts remaining in addition to the 2-minute warning.
Looks like you're going to spread things out a little bit here. Time you've got Tony Gonzalez all the way out here now. 4 wide receivers in the pattern, even though Gonzalez is listed as a tight end.
Dump it off to Snelling out of the backfield. And he has enough, it appears, for a first down. Clock continuing to roll. Snelling gives him another weapon out of that backfield to go along with Turner and Rodgers. And, of course, the wide receivers, White, Jones, Douglas, a tight end, Gonzalez. Very fortunate is Matt Ryan.
Michael Turner not logging the carries he's logged in the past because they have the ability to use other players to rest him. They're hoping that pays dividends down the stretch with fresher legs.
Set up the screen. And Snelling with another first down catch. That is a gain of close to 15.
Having watched this Falcons team over the years, there's one word that comes to mind when I think of Jason Snelling. Trust. This coaching staff trusts him. They can use him at fullback. They can use him at running back. He does a nice job for them in the special teams. Wherever they need to plug him in, they can do that, and he'll give them great play. Remember a couple years ago we did the game here?
That's right.
Well over 100 yards rushing in a game that made them 9-7.
Ryan overshoots Harry Douglas, and we shoot out to Los Angeles and check in with Kurt.
Well, the Bears, a couple of weird things happening here. Jay Cutler scrambles, looking in the end zone. Spot Brandon Marshall. Minnesota's Antoine Winfield called for pass interference. That set up a 1-yard score by Michael Bush a couple of plays later. And then they went for 2. So they're by 15 points heading towards halftime. 18-3, Tom and Charles.
That looked like a shaky call there.
Yeah, and went for 2. Did they run the option on that? Have Cutler bring it down the line and pitch it?
Right, second down and 10. They give it to Turner. And very close to a first down. Might be about a half-yard short. And this will take us down to the 2-minute warning. So the Falcons on the move in a 10-10 affair.
Barber doesn't turn down much, does he? He's not going to turn any plays down. 37 years old, still sticking his nose in the briar patch.
Third down, less than a yard, and the Falcons going to throw it. Catch is made by Roddy White, and he's inside the 20. A Falcons first down, out of bounds with 1:53 to play until halftime.
And notice where they went. They found Laquan Lewis. Youngster trying to fill in on the corner. Eric Wright hurt. Has to come in and give him extra plays. And Roddy White, look at that, catching the football. Isolates it with his hands, tucks it away, and then gets upfield for plenty more.
White, the Falcons' all-time leader in receiving yards, most yards in a season, career receptions, you name it, he's done it. The first down at the Tampa Bay 18-yard line. Turner stuffed after a gain of maybe a yard.
Now we've gotten to that stage where you're playing a little bit of that, managing the clock and trying to score. You know, you'll take it when it comes, but you want to go ahead and bleed as much down and not let Josh Freeman go into a true 2-minute drill to try and get points on the board for Tampa. Their idea would be to have the runner fall into the end zone as the clock's hit 0.
Timeout called. I think it was Greg Schiano or was it Greg Schiano?
Tampa Bay.
I think Greg Schiano is very upset with the official there. I'm not sure that's exactly what he was calling for. Well, you can't say enough about the job that he has done taking over. Intense, passionate. Last 11 years as head coach at Rutgers University. They have been to one bowl game in the 135-year history of the university, and he took them to 6, winning 5.
You mean going to the Garden State Bowl wasn't enough for them?
No.
Not with Greg Schiano?
No.
And really essentially started from scratch there. You talk about a guy that looks the part of a tough-minded coach. And he's every bit of the look you see.
Blitz coming. Atlanta picks it up to the end zone for Jones, and he's unable to get it. And a penalty flag comes in.
And that route was physical all the way down. A lot of jockeying between the defensive back and Julio Jones. Look at Jones working with Danny Gore. See how they're playing off of each other?
Pass interference. Offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So they get Jones and not Gore.
Normally, when you get that much contact between the two, I tend to think the flag stays in the pocket, but they saw that last push, and you saw it, Tom. When he got the arm extended out there, he gave it right to the officials. That's too easy a look. You know, when you got to learn the subtleties of being a receiver on the push-off, keep the arms in tight and don't get them fully out in front of you.
That back check 10 to the 28-yard line.
Harry Douglas has been quiet here in the first half.
Screen to Snelling. And he's back close to the original line of scrimmage on this set of downs. So it'll bring up 3rd down and right at 10 yards to go. And we're under a minute.
And above all, Dirk Cutter has told his quarterback, we've got 3. Matt Bryant, we've got 3. Let's make sure we don't mess that part of it up. In good shape right here.
Well, the Falcons are going to call a timeout. It appears they are, letting that play clock run all the way down. I am really surprised they're not taking a shot at the end zone here.
They might want to, but again, they want to make sure that Tampa gets no other shot at this thing. Remember, we're coming up on a 3rd down play. They can take the shot and then come back and kick the field goal, but take that clock down and leave Tampa no time to come back downfield.
Well, we're 22 ticks away from halftime. How about it, Kurt Menefee?
All right, coming up on the Visa halftime, we'll put the band back together and get you caught up on all the NFL action, including Carson Palmer's rough return to Cincinnati. And Andrew Luck looking to bounce back against the Bills. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime. See you then.
It's against Dallas. All of a sudden, that was a team that started 3-1. Lost 4 in a row. They've now won 2 in a row. And the way their schedule lays out, by the time that Dallas game comes around, that could be a big game in a couple of weeks from now.
Interesting, we talked earlier about people taking a step back. Josh Freeman last year, Mike Williams, the receiver. Marvin Lewis wasn't letting Andy Dalton do that. Remember how he challenged him a few weeks ago? We're not going to rest on our laurels from last year, and they've responded.
Atlanta 5 of 7 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 11. And able to get the 1st down, and inside the 5 is Julio Jones. He came in with an injured ankle, but said he was ready to play, and the clock continues to run.
How about how they cleared that section for him with the route, with the flow going away, going to the opposite side, hit Jones back against it, and then watch how he turns upfield and powers for the 1st down. He knew where the sticks were, and he used every bit of his ability and strength to move upfield and get it. Watch him from the left to the right there, okay? Now watch when he catches the football. He knows where the 1st down is. Plants his feet, powers his way to the 1st down. No juking, no hesitation. Find the 1st down sticks. And Julio Jones can do that because he's 6'3", 220. Strong.
Rodgers in the backfield inside the 5. 15 seconds left after the Atlanta timeout. Look into the corner of the end zone. And is it a touchdown? No. Catch was made by Jones, but couldn't get both feet in.
Just end up getting just a little wide on the play. In other words, no room left to come down with the football with the catch because of the timing and Matt Ryan having to deliver it. 1 half count earlier, he's got a chance to toe tap it in the end zone.
10th play this drive. Maybe one more shot at it. With 10 seconds remaining, and again, the Falcons do have a timeout in their pocket.
And remember the last time they ran that little toss to Quiz Rodgers to the right side of the line.
Ryan gets rid of it from his knees and throws it away, and the clock stops with 4 seconds remaining. Daquan Bowers getting healthier and healthier after tearing his Achilles tendon during the offseason. Has 2 sacks in his first 4 games back.
And the pressure starting to pick up from the Tampa Bay defensive front. Remember earlier in the game how clean the pocket was for Matt Ryan? Things getting a little muddier back there now. That's the pressure Bill Sheridan, the defensive coordinator of Tampa Bay, wanted to see increased, and he got it.
So now this will be a 22-yard field goal try for Bryant. Out of the hold of his punter, Matt Bosher. And the Bucs will watch as Mike Smith calls a timeout. And again, Visa halftime coming up. Carson Palmer left Cincinnati, said, I'm never going to play there again. Well, he might wish that they were actually true the way the first half has gone so far today.
He meant until today. You go where the team, you go where the schedule sends you.
Bears getting Jay Cutler back out to a big lead on Minnesota today. It's a big one for Seattle. A lot of times teams from the West can come back east at 1 o'clock kickoff, playing down the road in Miami. Seahawks have just tied that game in the final seconds of the opening half. So now to recapture the lead, Bryant hooked it to the left. You have got to be kidding. 22 yards away and he missed it. Good snap, good hold. That's called a yank wide left. 10-10 at halftime. Time now for the Visa halftime with Kurt and the gang in Los Angeles. Well, the last time Matt Bryant missed a field goal inside of 29 yards, November of 2007. He misses a 22-yarder to end the first half. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. That's hard to believe. I mean, a lot of people at home, Charles, I mean, look, we're all guilty of it, right, as fans? People are screaming at the television in Atlanta saying, I could make it from a 12-yard line.
We were talking about that in the break. That's why when you have those promotions, you know, in the quarters or the half and somebody comes out of the stands, you can win this if you make a 20-yarder and that person flubs it.
Oh, yeah.
Place goes nuts. It boo the heck out of the guy because they're all like, I can make that kick. But that was a tough one for Matt Bryant because I think distance had him in between whether he should get full leg extension or just punch at the football, and it cost him.
All right, Tampa Bay won the toss, deferred to the second half, so here we go. And what a tackle made on the opening kickoff by Antone Smith. All the way back to the 10-yard line.
And we go back and look at the kick, all right? The snap's fine. The hold, laces get away from the kicker. Everything's good. And I think because it was 29 yards, the ball was on the proper hash, the right hash, for a kicker to get full leg extension. But at 29 yards, he didn't want to hook it, and he ends up punching it and not letting, 22 yards. He ends up punching instead of letting it all go through. Not normal for Matt Bryant because, as you noted, 47 in a row prior to, 30 yards and in.
Right, first down from Martin. And he spins out of one tackle, can't avoid a second. Babineau, the first one there.
Take a look right in the middle of the play. Handles a double team, splits the double team, and comes through and makes the play in the backfield, which allows the rest of the posse to get there. Jonathan Babineau is continuing to play at a high level, whether it's a defensive tackle or defensive end for this Atlanta Falcons defensive front.
They picked up a fumble last week caused by John Abraham and rumbled 15 yards for his second career touchdown. Right back into the hands of Martin, this time on the reception. Gets a big chunk of that back up to the 19. Take a look at some of the numbers in the first half. And, you know, if you're Tampa Bay, 3 times Atlanta gets inside the red zone, but twice comes away with field goals.
To me, that's defense 2012. I think all the stats that people talk about, you know, we're going to hold teams under 300 yards, we're going to hold them under this. Most defense coordinators are ready to throw that out the window because the offenses are so high-powered, they just want to limit you. Field goal attempts in the red zone is a victory for them. Takeaways, tackles for losses, those are the plays you want to make on defense.
3rd and 5, they pick up the blitz. Bobbled momentarily by Underwood, but he hangs on and has a first down to the 26-yard line. This guy played collegiately at Rutgers for Greg Schiano.
And those are the types of guys that coaches coming into the league, they want to find their guys who can tell everyone what they're about, can tell the guys in the locker room, this is what this coach is about, and I believe in him. And then Tyquan Underwood, no safety back, comes underneath and really using Dallas Clark as a screen to come underneath to be free for the route. completes the first down after a quick bobble.
See the numbers on Freeman, 7 of 8, 76 yards. They had the one drive, their first drive of the game, where they went all the way down the field for a touchdown. Took advantage of a Rondé Barber interception to get their 3 additional points. And we check in from the halftime with Laura Oakman.
Finishing what Charles Davis was saying, that both coaches pretty much saying the red zone has been our nemesis. Mike Smith said, I love what we're doing. We just have to keep moving the ball and punching it in. How we're going to do that is do what we've been doing the first half by a balanced attack. Defensively, he said, we've got to stop the run. As for Greg Schiano, he said, we're moving it. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. Guys just have to execute.
All right, Laura, thank you very, very much. Corey Peters is the injured Atlanta Falcons. They're already thin along that interior defensive line. Parade Jerry is out. He's not active today, nor is Lawrence Sidbury. But Peters walking to the sideline appears maybe to have injured his shoulder or his arm.
Inside of the pile, he makes the tackle.
Well, you forget when you take on that hit. We saw Rondé Barber earlier on the tackle of Turner.
It's that concussive force.
Yep, right on the shoulder to the arm.
See how he's carrying it. Took a good shot on the shoulder. Interesting, Laura used the word execute. And you're in Tampa. It goes back to the Buccaneers history, does it? John McKay. How's your team's execution, coach? I'm in favor of it.
Well, that's good stuff. It's when they played in the old sombrero here in Tampa, right? This very, very spot.
Somebody give me a bucket hat, all right? You just start channeling Coach McKay. It's funny because someone was talking to me about him recently saying, well, you know, he wasn't successful as a pro coach. I said, hold on a second. He took on a franchise that was an expansion team back in the days where they gave you nothing. They didn't give you draft picks and great free agents. They gave you guys who are on their way out of the league, yet he took them to within one game of the Super Bowl at one point here in Tampa.
They're down 4. Freeman hit as he throws, finds Clark, and that's a first down to the 46. And very upset is William Moore, the free safety. He was beat by Clark on a critical third down.
And Corey Bierman had a chance to put Josh Freeman down in the backfield, was unable to complete the play. And Dallas Clark at the end of it. Watch Bierman, 71 to the top of your screen. Has a chance, can't get there, but did that not look vintage Dallas Clark? You almost saw him in a blue jersey plucking a pass from Peyton Manning after Josh Freeman steps up and throws the strike.
Now, many forget with all the records, virtually every record held at the tight end position by the Falcons, Tony Gonzalez. It's in the postseason where those records belong to Dallas Clark. He is the NFL's all-time leader in postseason receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns by a tight end. First possession for the Buccaneers, a touchdown to go in front. Atlanta came back, answered with a score, but then Rondé Barber the interception, leading to a field goal to tie it, and then a chance to take the lead going into the break. And Bryant misses from 22 yards out. And now the Buccaneers on the move. 2nd down and 8 in this 10-10 game, 10 minutes to go in the third. What a play behind the line of scrimmage made by the 13-year veteran John Abraham.
And welcome back Sean Weatherspoon. They have missed him playing for Atlanta. So take a look at Spoon playing behind a defensive lineman who kept him clean. See, that was where the play was made. Looked like number 99, Vance Walker, kept him clean. In other words, no one could get to Weatherspoon on the block because Vance Walker took on the double team. Weatherspoon emerged from behind him, stepped up and filled, and made the play.
All right, 3rd down and 10. On this opening drive of the second half, they pick up the blitz, looking for Jackson, and they got him at the 25. What a pickup this guy has been. He's on the field and in the locker room.
He's terrific because big guy who can run, but look at how Josh Freeman throws it in the hole. See, right there, in front of, behind the corner and in front of the safety, and sticks it right in there for him.
They hurry up mode. Oh, they had Jackson wide open in the end zone, and Freeman missed him.
And this is the throw prior to where he puts it in there for Jackson before the help arrives, able to catch it, get his feet down, and avoid the hit. Now here's the play you're talking about, Tom. Look at Vincent Jackson right there. Could not have been much more open on that play, and Josh Freeman unable to get the ball to him.
Had his eyes the entire way, it looked like, on Mike Williams. So 2nd down and 10 at the Atlanta 24-yard line. Falcons have lost one time all year long. And just throwing it to the back of the end zone is Freeman as he was knocked to the deck. 3rd down and 10.
Do you see how they were trying to bait Josh Freeman by showing him that the entire middle of the field was wide open? And then Thomas Deku ran from the line of scrimmage back into the middle to become this, what they call the single high safety. The one safety in the middle of the field while everyone else is playing man coverage. Trying to get Josh Freeman to get a false read and then throw into coverage. He didn't take the bait.
Buccaneers did not convert a 1st down. Only had 2 of them, 3rd down rather, in the first half. They are 3 of 3 on 3rd down this drive. And you see the numbers overall. Not all that good for a very good offensive team. Freeman wide open and he overthrows Mike Williams in the end zone. Oh, goodness. Will he look back on this throw later tonight?
Basketball season has begun, hasn't it, Tom? So you know what coaches say, even in football? Miss the layup. Yeah. Because it was there. That's the throw. I can hear Greg Schiano and Mike Sullivan. Josh, it's not going to be any more open than that. I mean, that's the bunny, and you missed it.
All right, this will be a 42-yard field goal try by Connor Barth to try and get the lead. And it is good for Connor Barth. So, good drive to start the 2nd half. This on a touchdown, but the field goal gives him a lead.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. And by Pizza Hut. Make it great.
I'd like to welcome many of you watching the Minnesota-Chicago game. Chicago with a 25-3 lead over the Vikings, so we bring you here. What a good one it has been thus far. 13-10 Tampa Bay on its opening drive of the 2nd half gets a field goal. Buccaneers have won 4 consecutive games, 6-4 overall. You know about the Falcons. One of 2 teams in the NFL with just 1 loss. So thanks for dropping by. Charles Davis, Laura Oakman, Tom Brenneman will carry you through the end of this one in Tampa. First possession, 2nd half for the Atlanta Falcons. They lost for the first time just 2 weeks ago against New Orleans in a shootout. And Ryan looking for the home run ball to Julio Jones and got it. And this is a touchdown, no penalty flags for Julio Jones. He beat the rookie Leonard Johnson, who's filling in for the injured veteran Eric Wright. 80-yard touchdown throw. And that is a season long for Matt Ryan.
And the whole thing just did not feel right because I thought Leonard Johnson had good position. Watch him here, down here on Julio Jones. Watch his position, and he's in great shape. Right there. Why? What's going on? It's almost like he stumbled once and panicked a little bit in his technique. Once he stumbles a little bit, watch right about here. See? And he loses that little bit, panics a little, doesn't keep his technique, and Julio Jones is so strong, you're not going to just grab him with your hands like that and get him down. He takes and sprints to the end zone.
We wondered if Julio Jones is going to play this week after aggravating that ankle injury. Well, 80 yards later, a touchdown and 123 receiving yards for Jones. 1 play, and the Falcons have recaptured the lead in Tampa.
This game has the potential starting to open up now because Tampa's going to want to push the ball downfield to their big receivers. And when you have Secretariat playing wide receiver for you in the form of Julio Jones, you do the same thing if you're Atlanta. And remember, Tampa came into the game 30th in the NFL in the number of explosive plays they've given up. The big plays downfield, we just saw an example of it, the 80-yard touchdown pass to Julio Jones.
Well, on one sideline, lots of smiles and shaking hands. Now, you'd figure screaming on the other sideline, but not so.
This is good coaching by Greg Schiano, a rookie corner who's given them good play. That play was not a good play. But do you go ahead and destroy him with his confidence? No. You coach him up, talk to him about his technique, and give him a little encouragement and a pat on the way back to the bench. Let's go get him next time. On the other side, when Mike Smith was talking to Julio Jones, you know all those draft picks we traded for you? Well worth it. Well worth it.
His ninth career 100-yard receiving game, third in a row for Julio Jones. That has been the most dynamic receiving duo among all teams in the NFL. And now it's Freeman looking for the long ball. And it's underthrown and should have been intercepted. And then just simply dropped by Asante Samuel.
And you don't see that often. One of the best ball hawks at cornerback in the NFL. Came into it with an injured shoulder. Obviously decided to play today. Has good coverage, but that ball's thrown out there. Here's my question, is what happened on this ball from Josh Freeman? I think he wasn't able to fully step into the throw. The pressure in his face prevented him from getting everything on it he normally would because Vincent Jackson had the step. The normal throw by Josh Freeman, there's a play on the ball by the receiver. That one fell short because he couldn't get the mustard on it.
Handed off to Martin. And he's up to the 25-yard line. This year, in more than 70,000 schools, at 1,700 events. Youth fitness zones across the country. NFL Play 60 has improved the health of millions of American children. Visit NFLRush.com to learn more how NFL Play 60 could come to your community soon.
And the 60 Josh Freeman wanted to play before was 60 yards downfield.
You're right about that. All right, third down. And to the sideline. Doesn't look like Underwood got there. He appears to be about a half a yard short of the first down, and if that's the case, they'll be punting away.
It's a good tackle. I saw Underwood try and get his body turned, try and get the football to it. Watch as he catches it. The tackle there by the corner, Robert McClain. You see Underwood trying to get his hand and his body on it, trying to get the football extended there. Didn't quite get there because of a good tackle that you noted, Tom, by Robert McClain.
Greg Schiano wrestled momentarily there with that fourth down and a foot decision, but at 17-13, just barely midway through the third quarter, he will send out his punter, the former Atlanta Falcon, Michael Kanan, and a flag is down.
And guess what? They were faking that one.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still fourth down.
Unless the center heard the whistle and just snapped it short, the up back caught that snap. It's almost like Greg Schiano had a play on. Take a look. See that?
You're right. Well, when you're a coach, that'll make you crazy.
Oh, you do not waste your Phantom Raiders.
Kanan puts a foot on it, waiting for a fair catch. Dominique ranks at the 34. How about that? 6:41 to play in the third. (17-13). Atlanta with the football and the lead. A little better than midway through this third quarter. It's a huge game for the Buccaneers. Trying to get to 7-4.
Continue to build the momentum. Riding a 4-game winning streak.
The backfield. Catch is made by Turner, who may have lost a yard. You know, you think about Atlanta, I mean, you're talking about a 3-game lead inside your division, and obviously Mike Smith is going to do everything to keep his team focused, motivated. They have some huge games, very difficult schedule coming up. It's been a rather light schedule through the first 10 weeks of this season. In fact, they have not beaten a team with a winning record when they played them so far this season.
And even with a couple of difficult games, the schedule is still fairly light down the stretch. Only about a 48% winning percentage of the teams left on their schedule.
Rodgers slammed to the deck after a gain of a yard. Third down upcoming. Charles Davis will be there this coming weekend. Big weekend of college football on Fox. Pac-12 championship, prime time Friday night, and then Saturday night, the Big Ten title game. Only on Fox.
And we just saw former Nebraska Cornhusker, one of those black shirts, Levante David, make the tackle on Michael Turner on the last play.
3rd and 7. Blitz coming. They pick it up. Incomplete. There was heavy traffic along that sideline there. So now the Falcons will punt, and we will punt to Patrick O'Neill in Los Angeles.
All right, Tom, thanks a lot. Minnesota, Chicago, Vikings trying to make a game of it. Christian Ponder hits Kyle Rudolph. This coming after a Jay Cutler interception. Chicago still leads 25-10. Tom and Charles.
Kyle Rudolph still celebrating his alma mater. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame will play in college football's national championship. This one by Roscoe Parrish is handled a fair catch of the 18. So here comes Freeman and the Bucs, trailing 17-13.
Matt Ryan trying to bounce back from a rough outing last week. 5 interceptions, no touchdown passes, but his team won. The first time a winning quarterback's done that since 1967, Bart Starr against the Chicago Bears. Look at him, he's got the glove on the left hand on a beautiful day like this. I think he had a problem with the quarterback center exchange last week, hurt a finger, wearing the glove for a little bit of extra protection.
And we asked him about it, he said nothing to worry about. He said it has nothing to do with whether I play well or don't play well.
That kid is always going to be a step forward guy, isn't he? Going to stand up, take the extraneous out of it. Either I play well or I don't.
Well, you got to wonder if there was a lot going on there by Josh Freeman. I mean, you come out of a timeout on a first down, and all of a sudden...
Cold start. Offensive line. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
You get a false start penalty because you're up against a play clock.
And that doesn't make sense to anyone coming out of a timeout. You know, it's hard to explain that one later when you get into the film room. Now, what happened here? Why are we up against the time clock when we came out of a timeout? Plenty of time getting the play off. Obviously, things were a little discombobulated for the Buccaneers.
So now on first down and 15, catches made, but again a penalty flag is in the backfield. And this looks like a hold, against Tampa Bay.
Eager use the hands to the face. Number 69 offense. That's the distance to the goal, still first down.
Let's check in quickly with Kurt.
Well, it's been this kind of month for the Dolphins. They are 0-3, and now their offense has been delayed by a sprinkler malfunction at the stadium. They had to stop the game for a couple of minutes. They finally resumed. Dolphins with the ball, but in a 14-7 hole. Don't know when you see that, if ever. Tom and Charles.
Well, that's what happens when you fall behind.
You got to come up with something to kill the momentum.
That's right. That's what you guys used to do it at Tennessee back in your...
When we were sprinkling down the artificial turf?
Yes. That's made by Vincent Jackson. He's back to where this series originally began at the 18-yard line.
If you're the Atlanta defense, it's a completion, but what you like about it is that the ball's not really getting pushed downfield. That's Tampa Bay's MO. They want to push it downfield with Vincent Jackson, with Mike Williams. Why? To keep things open and running lanes wide for Doug Martin. So you don't play small ball with these wide receivers of Tampa Bay and condense the field for Doug Martin. You play big ball. Move it out there. Open things up. Keep things open for him inside. Try and push it downfield. Atlanta wants to condense it.
Atlanta clearly made Martin a big part of their game plan. They have completely shut him down. And there's Underwood. Big play. You just said it, Mr. Davis, and that's to the 44-yard line. Underwood has become the go-to guy today.
Take a look, play action, gets good protection. Donald Penn does a nice job with Corey Bierman to allow that extra bit of time for Underwood to run his route downfield, and beats Weatherspoon for the big completion.
Leads a team in receptions 4, leads a team in receiving yards today, 73. And big plays, a big part, both of these teams offensively. And each closing in on a half dozen, and we're only in the third quarter. Martin has been very, very quiet. And he watches as he is dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
That's Dante Robinson with the big hit in the open field. And he's signaling to the bench, I believe, that he needs a substitute, which means Robert McLean, 27, comes in after that hit. Look at him.
It's a good play.
But he ended up getting the brunt of it. And he's gone off the field. So now, let's see if Josh Freeman wants to check on Robert McLean coming into the game and give him a try. He's up at the top of the screen.
Yep. And they go to Jackson right there at the top of the screen, and that is a first down. Well, Jackson playing the best football of his career, and it has been an outstanding career. 7 years in San Diego before leaving as a free agent, coming to Tampa.
And that was actually Asante Samuel. I had it wrong. I had Robert McLean at the top of the screen. He was at the bottom, 27 as opposed to 22. They went against their best cover guy and got the completion.
15-yard gain, a first down. Buccaneers trailing by 4, under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Martin breaks a tackle, turns a 3-yard loss into a 7, nearly an 8-yard gain. That's his longest run of the afternoon. 16 carries for just 37 yards.
And look at Doug Martin, sees the play, and that's Jonathan Babineau, the defensive tackle. 6 foot, 300 pounds, shows his strength and runs through the attempted tackle, and Babineau knows he had a chance for a tackle for loss, a big play up front.
And that's Babineau's MO, tackles for loss. He has more than any other defensive tackle in the NFL since he came into the league. Right back to the air, it's Jackson. And he's run out of bounds at the 11-yard line. First down, Bucs.
And a good read by Josh Freeman, too. Dante Robinson headed to the locker room for medical attention. And Josh Freeman saw the blitz, saw the extra people coming, and who did he try and find? Robert McLean. And Robert McLean bailed out and just gave up all sorts of territory. If you're going to blitz, you've got to have tighter coverage to help out your blitzers. Otherwise, why send them? It's too easy to throw it out there.
Blitz coming again to the end zone. Jump ball, and Williams can't get it. Samuel right there with him. He's checking downstairs with Laura.
It's always interesting now watching how seriously the league takes these concussions. Dante Robinson, we saw that big hit, came off the field, looked like he wanted to go back on, literally had 3 trainers push him onto the bench, start doing that head trauma test, talking to him. Started walking into the locker room. They moved him quickly. He stopped to see that last play. They said, nope, keep moving. So he is now in the locker room for tests.
Well, you wonder at the same time, Laura, thank you, if Asante Samuel has not re-injured that shoulder.
Laura's right there as Asante came to the sideline. She'll have the report in a moment.
Martin to the goal line and just short. Maybe less than a foot.
And right there, the offensive line of Tampa's got to feel good about itself. Watch in the middle and watch what happens here. Ted Larson isolated there, and then Martin sees the gap and gets right up in there. Look at Penn 70 leading. 79 on the play, Jamon Meredith. Good job on the pull, good gap. Tampa Bay's in business.
And we're off to the 4th, back after a break from your local Fox station.
Doug Martin and Dante Robinson with their collision in open field. That sent Dante Robinson to the dressing room for extra medical attention. Then at the end of this play, Asante Samuel, I think he heard it before he reached. Yeah, he already was hurt coming into the game, and he got dinged again on that attempted play, trying to reach up to knock the ball away.
And now from inside the one, it is Martin to cap it off with a touchdown on the first play of the fourth quarter, putting the Buccaneers back in front. Eight plays, 81 drive that began from their own 18, 19-yard line.
Heavy offensive line, 8 people on the offensive line for Tampa, bringing extra offensive linemen to give them extra push. Jamal Meredith pulled around and helped lead him into the end zone.
Well, what a good game. We thought it'd be a good game. Falcons at 9-1. Bucs have won 5 out of 6. Very much believing they are a playoff contender and playing like one so far in front of the hometown today. 82-yard drive, but chewed up a little more than 5 minutes. Martin, his 3rd game this season with 2 or more touchdowns. It's been a quiet day for Martin, but all of a sudden, a couple of scores, and you feel pretty good about things early in the fourth.
Remember that 42-yard play on the catch and run? Yep. They got called back. It was been a much bigger day. Just wondered, is there any chance he's going to hit the rookie wall? He certainly doesn't appear like he's approaching it.
Well, you know, that is a concern, and you brought it up earlier, and I think that's one of the primary reasons, Charles, they have really the forgotten man in this offense from just 2 years ago, even last year, LeGarrette Blount. Wondering that with all of the work that Martin has gotten so far this year, worried about getting near the end of the year and running out of gas.
The hard part with LeGarrette Blount has always been, can he absorb enough of the offense that you can leave him in any situation? Can he pass protect?
Right.
Does he understand that part of it? Because if not, you're getting your quarterback hit, and no one wants that. You become limited in what you can do on the field with LeGarrette Blount, and the defense has the advantage.
First down, Michael Turner, nowhere to go. #1 rushing defense in the NFL. Atlanta ran the ball very well its opening drive of the game, particularly Jaquiz Rodgers, but very quiet running the football ever since.
When we talked with Coach Brian Billick earlier when he called in from home, he did mention #1 rushing defense, and it would be very hard to make headway inside against them. He thought the only plays to be made were on the perimeter.
Turner out of backfield, and E.J. Biggers trips him up in the open field. And that's up to the 23-yard line. This is a big momentum 3rd down coming up for both teams.
Starting to see, we're continuing to see a defense, a young defense grow and make plays, playing more intelligently, not getting fooled by fakes, not overrunning plays and letting screen plays gash them for big yardage. Let's see what Bill Sheridan dials up here. Does he go pressure or just rush 3 or 4 and drop everyone else?
We'll rush 4. And there's Gonzalez at the 35 for a first down.
And that was that play, that call there. This turned out to be vintage Tampa 2 coverage. Linebacker down the middle of the field, 2 deep safeties. See the safeties back here. Look at the linebacker running right down the middle of the field. That's vintage how it used to be in the old days, but Atlanta found the gap for the first down.
Short drop, Julio Jones closing in on a career day is Julio Jones. That's his 5th catch. And right at 130 receiving yards, including that 80-yard touchdown. The first Falcons play of the second half.
Those lightning bolts just come out of the sky with teams like this, where you have a Julio Jones who can stretch the field and also work underneath with his strength and pick up first downs that way.
Second down and a yard, a little delay to Turner, and he loses yardage. Third down and 2 coming up. Matt Ryan closing in on another 300-yard passing day.
Look at the middle. Mason Foster, 59, but number 54, Levante David, shoots the gap and finishes the play. You mentioned it earlier, Tom. They're finding no space to run inside against Tampa's defense. Biggers in the slot, showing coverage. Nickel slides inside, and no one picks him up. From the backside, and does a nice job of not just tackling Matt Ryan, but going for the football to create the big play.
Freeman down the middle of the field and too far ahead of Stockard.
A nice play by Stephen Nicholas underneath at linebacker. Always known as a steady performer. His play is elevated this year. Came into this week, back-to-back weeks with a sack. Very strong, sturdy at the point of attack. Did a nice job running underneath the tight end to affect the play.
Second down and 10. After the turnover, second of the game for the Falcons. The Bucs had not turned it over.
It's a Jackson at the top of the screen.
Crossing route to Williams, and he is dropped after a gain of 6. So a third down and 4. We know that Connor Barth has more than enough leg from where they are right now, but Buccaneers are thinking about a touchdown. Three of 7 on third down so far today. But all 3 have been converted here in the second half. Free play perhaps for Freeman. And it's dropped by Underwood, and no penalty flag on the play. I think Greg Schiano is stunned, and in fact he is all over the official over on the sideline.
And I think he hit it right. I think that, Tom, when you look back at it, Thomas Deku, I think, had given himself just enough room that on the running start, he didn't cross the line before the ball was snapped. If he had started the line of scrimmage, he was done. He was over the line. But I think he had just enough room that he hit it just right.
48-yard field goal try by Connor Barth, who has hit from 57 this year. Good snap, good hold, and that is hammered right down the gut. But if you're Atlanta, you feel pretty good about that. Big hit by Biggers, forcing the turnover, leads to a field goal.
About the pressure, the Buccaneers to their right, and E.J. Biggers came from the left, unblocked, and affects the play. Not just getting the tackle on Matt Ryan, but going for the football and knocking it free. And Tom, you pointed out something that's very important in how people play defense now. Turnover in your own territory, and the defense of Atlanta held it to only a field goal. Vital in today's football.
Well, really, that's what won the game last week for Atlanta, with 5 interceptions thrown by Matt Ryan and only 13 points off the turnovers. Rodgers, a big return, up to the 37. So good field position for Ryan and the Falcons, trailing by 6. Oh, yes, Mr. Davis, you've been on the Sunshine Skyway Bridge a time or two.
Oh, yes.
4.1 miles across. How about that?
And no, it's never fun is when it's 4.1 miles of no one moving. I've been on it then, too.
21 to go. Falcons with a football. Rodgers out of the backfield to reception. And after the big return, he's still on his feet. 42 yards on the return. And this one all the way down to the Buccaneer 33-yard line.
This is the dimension he gives because he's a space player. Look at that wide open space where he catches it. Allows him to make one move. Picks up a block from Roddy White, number 84 there. Runs through the attempted tackle and gains another 10 to 15 yards. Get Jacquizz Rodgers in space. He gives you big plays.
32-yard gain. Ryan to Roddy White. And shoved out of bounds right at the 26-yard line. Let's check in with Kurt back in Los Angeles.
Well, Seattle picked off Miami's Ryan Tannehill in the end zone, but it was called back because of an Earl Thomas roughing the passer penalty. The very next play, Daniel Thomas takes it in from 3 yards out. The Dolphins come back and tie it 14 apiece. Tom and Charles.
How often do you get the safety with a roughing the passer play on the blitz?
Second down. Ryan steps in and guns it down the middle of the field, and making the reception once more is Julio Jones, and it's 1st and goal, Atlanta at the 9.
Good pass protection again for Matt Ryan. Tyson Clabo on the right side, able to kick slide out and take on Levante David, number 54, and keep him clean. And then Julio Jones, again, the strength to gain yards after the catch.
Well, they actually spotted just right at the 10, so it's 1st and goal. A big hit to shove him out of bounds at the 6. 2nd and goal.
As this game is being played more and more by mobile quarterbacks, let's not forget those who aren't the most mobile in the world still have a great place in this game. How about Matt Ryan's footwork there? You see how he just stepped out, slid to his right, created the throwing lane, something he said he wanted to do this week because he had too many balls tipped at the line of scrimmage last week.
Rolling left through the hands of Jones. That looked like a catch. It should have been made. It's been a great day for Julio Jones, but that could be a big one. 3rd and goal coming up.
I think the tough part on that one was he threw the ball back inside. See, that ball's supposed to go to the outside shoulder. When he turned him back inside, he turned him back into the defensive back, and he might have caught a flash of the DB coming at it. Throw it to that outside shoulder to the pylon and keep it away from the DB.
3rd and goal for the Falcons. Not going to do it, and a flag is down. And I think Ahmad Black is in disbelief if this is going to go against him in the end zone.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense number 43. Half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
So they got him before the contact in the end zone.
And that pass was thrown by Matt Ryan to draw attention to it. He saw the hole. Well, see where his head is? Look, right there. He sees it. Oh, see, he's got the hold? I'm just throwing it over there. Right? So there's the hold right there. Matt Ryan sees it and throws the ball in that direction to say, take a good look. There's holding there. He drew attention to it with the throw to the receiver. Intelligent play by the quarterback.
Automatic 1st down just outside the 2. And they pitch it to Turner. Full speed ahead into the end zone for Turner. And a point after away from going back ahead.
And that play was run to the technician side of the Atlanta offensive line. See, these guys are not supposed to be the most physical guys in the world, and Sam Baker and Justin Blaylock. But they were there, and how about downfield? That was Roddy White, 84, blocking at the point of attack downfield.
So now Bryant. And it is good. Big drive after the big return on the kickoff by Rodgers. Atlanta leads 24-23. Michael Turner, 57 touchdown as a Falcon, which ties Terrence Mathis for the most in Falcons franchise history. Congratulations to Michael Turner. All the talk about Matt Ryan, Roddy White, and Julio Jones. No one has been more instrumental in the Falcons' resurgence as a franchise than Michael Turner.
They brought him in the same year they drafted Matt Ryan, and he took a lot of pressure off of a rookie quarterback by being able to dominate the game with running the ball. Made it for easier throws for Matt Ryan as he broke into the league. They went 11-5, went to the playoffs. And most runners, you're always talking about thanking your offensive linemen for big runs and big plays. How about your wide receivers? Look at the combo here of Roddy White and Julio Jones. Sam Baker will come into the picture at offensive tackle, but look at the two downfield. Roddy White dominating his block there. Julio Jones just gets enough of his block to allow him to cut inside for the touchdown. They always talk about big runs, big plays. Offensive line will get you about 7 yards. Anything downfield means your wide receivers are blocked well also.
So from the 20, 7:55 to go. Freeman and the Buccaneers with a football. And it's Martin on first down for a gain of 2. Dante Robinson back in the game, by the way, for Atlanta. Tuesday, laugh your Fox off. 4 of the most critically acclaimed comedies on TV. Don't miss an all-new night with Raising Hope, Ben and Kate, New Girl, and The Mindy Project. 4 different comedies, same Fox attitude, all new night. Starts 8 Eastern, 7 Central this Tuesday on Fox.
Let's see if Tampa continues to try and push the ball downfield against the Atlanta secondary. Their best plays have occurred where they've been able to protect and go with deeper routes to their big receivers.
You see not only Robinson back, Asante Samuel is back. Crossing pattern, that's Williams. And really, a couple of nifty moves there by the third-year receiver out of Syracuse to get a first down up to the 45.
Once again, Josh Freeman is protected well in the pocket. Allows him to take a look deep downfield for the big shot. And then he looks and waits for him to clear past Sean Weatherspoon. See that? He made sure he cleared Weatherspoon, got the ball to Williams on the move, and a couple of, what'd you call, nifty moves? Nifty. I like that because exactly what they were.
The first down from their own 35-yard line, and Martin has had a hard time finding any running room today. Came in with 1,000 rushing yards on the season. And for Martin today, very, very quiet. 20 carries, 52 yards. What a game it has been. Freeman, the hottest quarterback in the NFL since their bye week beginning week 5. Good numbers today. Julio Jones, a career best, 147 receiving yards. And Matt Bryant will that missed 22-yard field goal try, the final play of the opening half, come back to haunt him later tonight. Play fake to Martin. Down the middle of the field. Dangerous throw and beautifully defended by Robert McClain.
He came on the field when Dante Robinson got hurt on the tackle not too long ago. And I wonder if they would want to try him and attack him. Robert McClain showing he's up to the task. Tyquan Underwood tried to give him a head fake to the outside and come back inside into the seam. And McClain stays right on his hip and undercuts the route, knocks the ball away.
Big play here. 3rd down and 8 for the Buccaneers, who are 3 of 8 on 3rd down in the game. And it's Dallas Clark to the Falcons 42.
See, Tampa has a Tony Gonzalez dimension now that Dallas Clark has rounded into form. Because now they can spread things out with the wide receivers. You have to play them. You have to know where they are. And then he gets to work one-on-one inside, usually against a linebacker, that time Stephen Nicholas, for a first down.
Grew up in Idaho, or in South Dakota, I beg your pardon, and then played collegiately to Dallas Clark at Iowa. All the great seasons with Peyton Manning, and now his first in Tampa Bay. And that's Underwood. That'll be a gain of about 4 on first down. Clock at 5 minutes to go. Is this a drive you look back on at the end of the season and say that's when we became a bona fide playoff contender by beating a 9-1 Falcons team?
Last week would be one to build on, wouldn't it? Coming from down 11 in the fourth quarter at Carolina and beating them in overtime with this type of a drive if it culminates. But now, as you mentioned, if you can do it against a 9-1 team, you really got something going.
Martin tries to bounce it to the outside. Akeem Dent wrapped him up, and he still lunges forward, maybe picking up a yard, and we check in quickly again with Kurt Menefee.
Well, quick touchdowns in Miami, 3 in the last 3 minutes between the Seahawks and Dolphins. After Leon Washington ran a kickoff back 98 yards for a touchdown, the Dolphins come right back and give it to Charles Clay for a 29-yard score. It's tied at 21 late in the fourth. Tom and Charles.
Tight one there, almost as tight here. 1-point spread. Come from behind wins by both these teams last week. Something that's happened pretty regularly this year in the NFL, but right now it is a 3rd down and 7 trying to keep this drive alive. Blitz coming. Freeman standing tall, lets it fly, and it should have been intercepted. But Samuel unable to get it and may have hurt the shoulder once more.
That's the second interception possibility he's had today that he's unable to come up with. Josh Freeman did not have the time he's used to having, had pressure in his face. The throw went awry, and Samuel unable to get underneath it. And you're right, Tom, he did hurt his shoulder again as he came off the field.
Connor Barth, 56-yard field goal try. 10 of 16 from 50-plus in his career. Has hit from 57 already this year. Snap down. Lets it fly. And it is wide right, no good. So the Falcons get the football back with 3:32 to go. And a chance to put this thing on ice.
And the old Falcons were quite adept at that. As we take a look now. The long attempt by Barth, not enough on it. Falls short and a little bit wide, but the old Falcons, what am I talking, a season ago? Right? This was their time. 4-minute offense, Michael Turner, run the football, bleed the clock out in another tight football game.
Well, it might be Rodgers to try and bleed that clock, cuts it back to the inside, a big gain. And Rodgers started the game in strong fashion and is finishing the game in like fashion. Don't forget, after Tampa Bay took the lead, it was a big return of 42 yards by Rodgers, and then had a 32-yard reception on the same drive that got him into the end zone to take the lead.
And now Tampa Bay has to start thinking about what is their strategy in terms of timeouts. They have all 3. When do they have to start using them in order to try and conserve something for their offense?
First down and 10. Veteran move here by Ryan, letting that play clock get all the way down to 1 before they snap it. Turner off to the right side, pushes forward inside the 40 to the 37. That'll be a gain of 5 on first down as we close in on 2.5 to go.
Been watching this Falcons team for years, and as good as they are, the one thing I always wonder about with them is they play a lot of tight games throughout the year. Not many laughers where you look over and see the starters drinking Gatorade and having a good time, right? That can wear on you as you get to playoff time when you're playing these tight ones. But you know, the alternative is play tight ones and lose. They don't lose them. They play them and win them.
I am stunned they let all that time just go off and get this thing to the 2-minute warning. That is a long time to sit around right there by Greg Schiano. 2-minute warning, 1-point Atlanta lead. Stay tuned following the game, the Pepsi Game Break Show. And then for many of you, we send you to America's Game of the Week, highlighted by the San Francisco 49ers playing at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints in Tampa Bay trailing these Atlanta Falcons in the NFC South. 2nd down and 6, 2 minutes to go, and Atlanta with a ball and a 1-point lead. They pitch it to Rodgers, and he is dropped at the line of scrimmage. Now you got to believe they spent a timeout. which stops the clock with 1:55. So you look back on not spending the timeout. They let, in essence, 30 seconds burn off the clock. But by waiting for the 2-minute warning, getting the stop there, they only lose 5 seconds after the tackle.
And you get a free one. That's kind of gone.
Well, here in the second half, we were tied, remember, 10-10 at halftime after Tampa Bay had gone ahead by a field goal. First play on offense, the 80-yard touchdown. Tampa Bay came back with a touchdown, forced the turnover, but ended up with a 3-point try and a field goal, and then Atlanta marches down the field, the touchdown by Turner, and the 1-point lead on a 3rd and 6. Play of the day for Tampa Bay on defense, and cannot make the stop. Roddy White, a first down to the 29, and Tampa Bay in a world of trouble now. And the Bucs spend a timeout. They'll have one left.
Good Roddy White against press coverage against Danny Gore, the 3rd-year corner out of Texas A&M. And remember, Matt Ryan spent the week trying to find slide steps, better gaps to throw the football. What, he had 3 tipped last week, turned into interceptions. He did it on that play. He found the seam, just enough of an opening. Ball not tipped, sharply thrown, and Roddy White won that route at the line of scrimmage against Gore for a key first down.
Only one more chance to stop it for the Buccaneers. On a first down. Turner wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, and that will be the final timeout for the Bucs.
Look at Matt Ryan. He just slides in the pocket just enough, and look how close that was as he slid it through the hands and the arms of Gerald McCoy, the defensive tackle. And Roddy White won that route right at the line of scrimmage, shook Gore impressively, and created separation for an easy catch once the ball got to him.
Our game today being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Artie Kemniker. Our technical producer is Bob Muller, and our technical director is John Howard. Audio mixer, Mr. Jeff Cohen, a native Floridian. Associate directors Wayne Wilson, Yvonne Wagner. And our broadcast associate is Jordan Wolf. Our crew up here in the booth, Scott Snyder, Tom Barbary from down the road in Orlando, and Bill Harmon. We thank our entire crew. What a game it's been, and not over yet. Turner dropped for a loss, but the clock will continue to run, so this will take us inside of a minute.
Look at Matt Ryan, 4 straight games with 300 yards passing, and what he's really going to be happy about, if this holds up, no interceptions this week.
So you don't have to snap it until 58 seconds are left in the game. And then you'd be staring down the barrel at whether you'd want to try a long field goal if you don't convert on 3rd and a ton. 3rd and 18. Ryan to throw it. Catch is made at the 30. So they'll let the clock run now down to 13 seconds before they have to snap the ball. And Mike Smith appears to be thinking things over as to what he might want to do right here.
He's going to let this thing run down and possibly use a timeout and mull over what you're going to do. But you got to let it run all the way down before you do that. It's about, what, a 12-second differential?
Yep.
13?
They're going to look at it there on the screen. There'll be about 13 seconds left, 12 maybe. But they're going to spend the timeout, obviously, before it gets there. So the field goal unit comes out, and we check in with Patrick O'Neill.
All right, thanks a lot. This game is on ice. It will be the Bears moving to 8-3, the Vikings to 6-5. Christian Ponder, the fumble, Major Wright, the recovery. The Bears have won 6 straight over the Vikings. Set it back now to Tom and Charles.
Too bad we didn't get a look at the Vikings in that game in Chicago today without Percy Harvin. They're an entirely different team without him. Pepsi Game Break Show coming up next. It'll be a 48-yard field goal try.
And this one, he gets to go ahead and let the full leg swing go on this one. He'll be much more comfortable on this kick.
48 yards out. Kick is up, and he missed it wide right. And all of a sudden, with that long field goal try, 8 seconds remain. And remember, all the Buccaneers need is a field goal. Now, you basically got one play to run.
And you've got to get out of bounds on it, because anything in the middle of the field, Tom, clock keeps running on it, and you're done. You've got to get it, get to the sideline, and have an opportunity. A pass completion will not allow you enough time to run your field goal unit out if you complete it in bounds. It has to be something out of bounds to have an opportunity. And look how deep Atlanta's going to play, and they're going to guard the sidelines more than the middle of the field.
Well, Atlanta wanted to see what kind of formation they would be in. I mean, they got guys all the way down at the end of the field. They got defensive ends standing over on the side of in front of the wide receivers.
They're hoping to use Croy Bierman, the defensive end you described, as a jam guy. Knock people off their route early, or at least make them run around him to eat up more time so they can't get into the route.
Well, Charles, what do you run here? I mean, you get down to what, about the 40? You got about that much time to
that's
straight out, catch it, and try to just step out of bounds.
Do it.
57, 58-yard field goal try.
You almost think to yourself, you know how you run the overload receiver play and just throw it up in the end zone, hope someone can catch? You might do that and try and get it to the 40-yard line. Just give yourself options.
Of course, you and I were together, Boise State, Oklahoma, many years ago.
Hook and lateral.
Right. All right, 8 seconds remain. Freeman fires to the sideline, and Morey going to step out of bounds. 4 seconds left. That's Dallas Clark. But obviously nowhere near from being able to attempt a field goal. That took 4 seconds.
So now this one has to go to the end zone. You got to tend that downfield. Look at Greg Schiano. How far is he? How far is he? How far? They can't run field goal unit out on that.
Well, the one thing you heard from these Buccaneer players all day yesterday was our coaches prepare us for every situation imaginable. Now, you're going way down the play chart with 3 seconds left from midfield.
This is Dean Smith territory about how you prepare a team.
So Freeman is just going to let it rip, heaving it towards the end zone. And it is intercepted on the final play of the game, or knocked down on the final play of the game by Asante Samuel, who played through clearly an injured shoulder. He had it coming in. What a big win on the road. The Falcons go to 10-1. Tough loss for Schiano.